Father, we just ask for your Holy Spirit on us. Open our ears and soften our hearts to your message, we pray. In Jesus' name. Amen. This weekend and today, all over the world, there's going to be services of remembrance. And this year, there's particular emphasis on the 100th anniversary of the end of the Great War. Known today as the First World War. Quite a few of my friends have travelled to Europe this weekend. I noticed this morning on Facebook some of them there at ceremonies, and apparently very, very moving. Do you know, we've all got stories, and I just want to share with you kind of 3 stories intermixed with my sermon this morning. And the first one, I just want to chat about my dad. My dad was in the army during the last war, and he joined up with his mates at a break of war after having a few beers, and I suspect actually they had more than a few beers. He was about 27, so physically I suppose he was at the prime of his life. I know he was at Dunkirk. I know he was one of Monty's desert rats, and he was wounded at Monty Cassino. I don't know really much more about what happened to my dad in the war, because he rarely spoke about his war experiences. He did once, though. He had a couple of whiskies one Christmas, and shared some stories which, you know, really were came from deep within. You know, it's hard to talk about the real cost of war, about how your comrades died, about how your parents and grandparents paid the cost of war. And sadly, we have today sons and daughters and grandchildren. It's hard to talk about the vice-like grip of sheer terror, about how your own mind and heart were deeply affected and never quite the same again. We hear too often about PTSD. So many of our Canadian troops coming back from Afghanistan committing suicide. You know, you'd think from the Great War, which we are remembering particularly today, you'd think after what they used to call shell shock, when they used to shoot people for being cowards when they were suffering from PTSD, that there would be more support for our troops today. Perhaps our most important memories are often silent ones. Ones we can't talk about because of the pain in them, because they're almost impossible to share with anyone who hasn't been there. But the memories are there, and those of you who have experienced will do remember. Mostly in silence, and perhaps occasionally aloud if the mood is right. So today is a day for memories. I'm here today particularly to remember and honour those who fought in the wars of this century and the last. To remember what it was like, how awful it really is. To remember those who were there, and to remember those who didn't at all. Perhaps more than anything else, war gives us rise to hugely conflicting emotions. There's the strength of communal feeling, of community, of being in it all together. There's something very exciting and challenging about facing danger, especially when the risk is the ultimate risk, that of death. There's something that seems very noble and good and great about taking that risk. No one has greater love than this, says the writer of John's Gospel, than to lay down one's life for one's friends. But it has to be said, there's the other side of the heroic and selfless patriotism of war. That is the horror, the ugliness, the atrocities, the brutalising, the inhumanity, the massacre of innocents, the knowledge that this is done by both aggressor and defender. And the terrible, needless, sometimes life-suffering for the victims. And for us as Christians, between those two aspects of the nobility and the ugliness lies the tension for us. Is it right to defeat evil through warfare, knowing the terrible cost of war? Or would the cost be worse? Would evil get its way if we refuse to go to war? Is war the lesser of the two evils? Jesus said, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you. He also said, do not resist the one who is evil. He refused to be seen as the military saviour of the Jews. He refused to work to overthrow the foreign power of Rome. He didn't quite live in the same world as we live in then. We all know the details of the gas chambers and the prison camps like Auschwitz, Dachau, Bergen-Belsen. My mother was one of the first troops into the camp of horrors at Bergen-Belsen. It was only after my mum passed away and the local minister came to visit us that we discovered on the anniversary of the liberation of Bergen-Belsen. My mother used to go to church and just sit there in silence. No doubt the horrors of what she experienced and saw in that terrible place still with her. And that's the same for many who serve in areas of conflict. We hear about the appalling details, the denial of human rights in places by some governments which keep continuing today. Jesus perhaps spoke in the singular. Do not resist the one who is evil, he said. He didn't say anything about mass evil. But when he found evil penetrated by large groups, by the rulers of the temple and the money changers and the merchants, he used violence against them to clear the temple. And since he was on familiar terms with army leaders, you remember he cleared the centurion's servant. And since he used the army as illustrations to make a point, I presume that Jesus wasn't a pacifist. As well as saying, love your enemy, Jesus also said, love your neighbour. One of the two most important commandments. So when loving your enemy and loving your neighbour are in conflict, as they inevitably are under conditions of war, which of these values comes out on top of the list? Is loving your enemy the most important? Or is loving your neighbour the most important? Jesus doesn't tell us. And we have to work it out for ourselves. And we all may work it out differently. To war or not to war? That is the question. And I don't have the answer. Do you know, many years ago, I really struggled with Remembrance Day. I was born in the 50s, which I was born in the 60s. I was born in the 50s. And going through the 60s, I mean, it was a different time. It was a time of new ideas, changing the world. Why do we have to worry about all this rubbish stuff? We need to forget all these horrors. We're in a new time, a new place. It wasn't until a few years later, I was with Pat and two of my friends, and my friend was a bus driver, coach driver, and he used to take American tourists around the UK. And we were in a city called Cambridge for the weekend. I don't know, has anyone here been to a military cemetery? Yeah, so you know, yeah. And you know they're pristine, aren't they? And the crosses are in symmetrical lines. They're just everything is just so clean. The grass is immaculately cut. Excuse me. I said to my mate, why do I want to go to a cemetery? He said, I think you'll find this really interesting. So we went to the American cemetery just outside Cambridge. There was a chapel there, and a huge great wall with every American that had lost their lives in the war. And on for ages. And as we were looking around the cemetery, I kind of wandered off. And I found myself in the middle of the cemetery. And I noticed a fresh red rose on the ground. As I got closer, I noticed that there was a captain of a flying fortress. And I almost choked up when I told this. Because I'm not one for crying, but that day I did. Because I noticed that the captain was aged 21. And as I looked around, I could see his crew there. The captain was the oldest. They were all 19 and 20. And that moment made sense for me why we remember. Because it was for the people that gave their lives that in the 60s we were able to say, yeah, let's change the world. Couldn't have done it if those people hadn't given their lives for us. But you know, when we sit in church, I'm going to share something which I really shouldn't probably. It's one of my pet hates in church. When we get hung up on the stuff that isn't evil. You know, moving something from here to there, from changing something. So what? These guys gave up their lives for us, and we just get hung up on things that are so unimportant. We are able to freely worship in church because of those millions of people over the years have given their lives and still are. And we should I'm not around now, I'm sorry. If you didn't vote in these local elections, you should be ashamed of yourself. These people gave their lives so that we have democracy. It's just something which, you know, when the penny drops, well, that day for me, the penny dropped. In Jesus' name.
This morning, we'd like to invite you to sing along through the anthem with us. Still recognize it. We'll sing the first verse, and then the verse will be on the screen for you to join us.